Welcome to Creative Wellness Solutions. I want to tell you a little bit about what Creative Wellness Solutions is about. It's about taking time for yourself. It's about honoring your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's about calling yourself back into present moment. So not going all the way out into the middle of the ocean, worrying about all those millions of things that we can worry about. It's about being on the shoreline, enjoying the horizon, enjoying the sunset, feeling the sand beneath your feet. So Creative Wellness Solutions is a vehicle that was created decades ago to teach people about health and wellness. I started Creative Wellness Solutions in the 80s. I don't know, telling my age. In the 80s when I was in college, I created workshops for people, movement, breathing, fun. Like get in your body, have fun. I know you have all this over here, but we have this one life and we can, on purpose, cultivate some joy. And in cultivating that joy, we create wellness in our life. So we want the solutions. What are our solutions for being well, staying well? So Creative Wellness Solutions is about I am honoring myself. I am grounding myself in this presence. So mindfulness is huge now, right? So mindfulness came on the scene a few years ago. Some people used to call it New Age. Well, mindfulness is old medicine. And it falls in that wellness, spiritual, universal law of attraction basket of things that we can do to bring our blood pressure down, to balance ourselves, and to cultivate more passion in our lives. So what the endeavor is here is to get you in your body, to get you in your life, to get you moving. So on the table here, I have some things that I use in my everyday life because we want to create solutions that are sustainable. I don't want you to have to go and pay $5 million to go to this retreat center for a month, although that sounds really good, and I want to do that. But I want to give you sustainable remedies that you can do at home so you can create a retreat for yourself, that you can cultivate peace within yourself. So you become your own tool. You become your own solution. You become your own medicine, that you are your medicine. You are your healing place. And we forget that because we think that the doctor has the prescription. Well, I am Dr. Kelly Kirksey, but guess what? I don't have your prescription. You are the expert on you. So I'll tell you a little bit about my journey and how I cultivated some tools that have helped me in my life. First off, sound. Vibration. Energy. So when I was younger, 4, 5, 6, on up, there was a lot of turmoil in my life, a lot of violence in the neighborhood that I grew up in inner city Cleveland, a lot of challenges in my home. And I needed a sense of safety. I needed a place to go to where I could begin to feel some wholeness and some security. So what I did was I would always go into the living room, put on an album. You all probably don't even remember albums, but I would put on an album, usually Motown, and then I would whirl. I would whirl, I would dance, and I would sing. And so that was a vibrational force that took me from I'm sad, I'm lonely, to I'm alive, I'm moving, I'm vibrant, I'm happy, I'm stirring up my own joy. So that vibration of the music and the moving. So I was moving, I was the Shy Lights, I was the Temptations, I was Diana Ross, all of that. And getting in my body, that brought me back from the edge. That separated me from the people that were sitting on the mailbox drinking gin and juice. So me being able to put the music on and then have that music in my mind dancing between my ears, reverberating in my heart, that kept me sane. It kept me safe. It kept me safe. So the music and the dancing and the singing, that was really important. And then another piece was community. Really plugging myself into community. I lived in an old house that used to be the rectory for the Catholic Church down the street. So they had community there. So I would go down the hill, go to the community center, and what did me and my best friend Jackie do? We used to join the talent show. We were really inappropriate back then. Nobody told us that, 10-year-old girls shouldn't be singing, I'm driving in your car. You turn on the radio. I'm thinking, that was really inappropriate for us to be singing back then. But we were having fun, and we were safe, and we were in community, and we sought out community. So a lot of people are out in the world right now, and they're feeling so lonely, so isolated, so disconnected. We get to invite ourselves into spaces, into community. We heal in community. When you look at the oldest people around the world, our centenarians, we look at our people, they're over 100, they're over 90, and their minds are intact, their bodies are still strong, and they still have joy. Guess what the common denominator is? Are they walking 10 miles a day? Nope. Are they eating a very healthy plant-based body? Nope. Are they drinking kombucha to keep their microbiome together? They're not doing that. They're playing cards. They're getting together in people's houses. They're in healthy communities. So the oldest people on earth are members of healthy community. So that is a marker for longevity. It's when we pull ourselves into ourselves and disconnect from others. That's when we're no longer well. So community is very, very important to our health. So think about this. Like, let this be your symbols. Like, I got to find some of this to find a connection. And that might be going on to a meetup or going to the library. They always have workshops, or creating something, inviting somebody for tea and conversation. That's what I saw my mom do. In times when maybe we didn't even have gas on in the house, but my mom still invited people over for something to drink and something to eat. Whatever we had, she shared it. So she showed me how to build community. This is what it looks like. So challenge yourself today to call someone and invite them to go for a walk out in nature. And speaking of nature, that's another way to create a healthy solution, a healthy remedy for you. I'm a tree hugger. I admit it. People laugh at me when they see me going up to a tree saying, hey, tree, how you feel today, tree? Tree, can I approach you? Tree, you got somebody? I don't see anybody. Tree, can I approach you? So I go up to that tree and I round out my arms and I touch my heart, and then I bring my heart to the tree and I hold that tree. And I let myself melt into that tree, because that tree is old and wise, and that tree is breathing. So I'm breathing with that tree, creating a circuit of energy with that tree. That's alive. We're both alive. So being able to connect with nature. So I don't have any shoes on, and my ideal day is going outside, putting my feet on the earth and saying to myself, from the center of the earth, I'm bringing up the energy that I need. I'm bringing it up into my spine. I'm bringing it up. I'm stretching up. I'm nourishing myself by connecting with Mother Earth. That's my happy place. That's where I really begin to create some wellness, when I connect with nature. It's critical. It's critical. We're all one. So creating those wellness solutions is about what's out there, what's sustainable. How can I use what the earth is giving me as my medicine? And I'm not saying, oh, don't go to the doctor. Some of my best friends are doctors. Some people even call me Dr. Kelly. But our prescription is this and that, not one or the other. That our endeavor should be to live in a balanced place. So the other thing that I do to create wellness in my life is right here, bam. Right here, bam. And if you would ask my husband, he would tell you, don't mess with that woman. She will go back to 1982 and tell you what you were wearing and how she felt about it. So introspection, creating a relationship with ourselves. So this is my relationship with me. Kelly, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? What brought you joy today? What made you sad today? So this is where I pour out my emotions. Because if I walk around with my emotions inside of me without expressing them, then I'm constricted. So do you know what anger looks like? It has a posture. It has a tone. Because when you're angry, your vocal cords are constricted. Your muscles are tight. Cortisol is moving through your body. You're damaging yourself when you hold that anger in the physical body. Cortisol starts going wild and you wonder, I don't drink beer. Why do I have a beer belly? Well, because you have your emotions right in here. You're not expressing them. You're restricting them. So the journaling is critical for me and my wellness practice. And it doesn't even have to be like a pretty journal. Like this was my journal that I got for my trip, my dream trip that my husband put together for us to Hong Kong and Thailand. So that's a pretty on purpose journal, but I've had journals that was like a napkin, or like a torn piece of newspaper, because the words and the feelings have to come out for me, or I'm not balanced. I'm not well, and I'm a little tight and crunchy, and then people want to run from me. I'm like a bear. So the journaling is so important. And then also moving to the body and letting the body know that you love the body. So how do we do that? Body awareness. So saying, what do I need for myself right now? What is my body asking for? So all my life I've had eczema since I was 2 years old. And that eczema has brought something into my life that was really interesting. So when I was 2 years old, what that eczema did was created a special bond between my mother and I, because she took me around to every doctor, and usually it was a long drive. So the eczema ushered in this bonding time between us. The eczema also took me out of relationship with people because they would look at me and I looked different. People thought I was contagious. People ran the other way. So it also created a loneliness in me. And in that loneliness, I reconnected with myself because I would sit watching the kids play, standing there looking out the window. I had my journals. I had the cup of tea that my mom would make for me as she was ripping strips of white sheet and wrapping my body in salve and covering it up with those sheets, that I would just listen to my mom's breath on my shoulder as she prayed that somehow I would have a healing, that something would happen. So that mom would wrap me up from my ankles to my neck. So I would go to bed looking like a mummy. And I would wake up in the morning with strips of sheets all around me, blood, fallen skin. So being able to sit with myself and journal that I'm sad, that I'm lonely, because I didn't want to go outside. That thing that I crave now, My mom would have to sit a chair on the back porch and say, 5 minutes. Sit 5 minutes in the sun. So she really taught me about anointing the body in a sense. This is just some simple cocoa butter, but being able to just say, okay, I'm going to nourish myself. I'm going to nurture myself. And then not like, oh, let me put it on, let me hurry, but putting it on and like slowing down. So making even the putting lotion on or cocoa butter on your hands, making it an act of self-healing, making it an act of reverence, of I am alive in my body. I have breath in my body. So being able to slow it down and engage with the practice of mindfulness. So I tell people when they come to see me privately, I always offer people lotion. And when they say, yeah, I could use some lotion, then I say, okay. Then that gives me an opportunity to teach them a mindful practice. I say, massage one finger at a time. Just slow everything down and inhale and exhale and let yourself hear your breath, hear your aliveness, hear what your life sounds like, because we know that when we're no longer breathing, then we're no longer embodied. So even walking with that awareness helps us to appreciate our life even more. So Creative Wellness Solutions is an opportunity to play, to get to know yourself better, to learn to nurture yourself, to give yourself an opportunity to create your own palette of wellness solutions through a place of joy, through a portal of joy, dancing, yoga, walking in nature, drumming, sauna, journaling, whatever it is. So let your life take a turn. Get into the driver's seat of your own wellness destination. Thank you for joining me.